Hey guys, welcome back to Daily Read on YouTube. Once again, the working website is www.realhistorywww.com, and the WW stands for worldwide. Well, the world's first civilizations were all black civilizations. Okay. Now, the last time we left off, to recap, we're talking about where the term the true Negro came from. Okay, and that was in a certain section. Once again, you can read from wherever you want. You can start with ancient Kemet or Egypt, and the different. For example, here we have the original black civilizations of Crete and Greece, the Minoan and the Mycenaean. The original black civilization of Italy, the Etruscans. You can go through that, but if you want to start from the beginning, you can go all the way down here. And where it says start, you click start, which will be right here. Okay, big start button right there. Or you can go down and look at the original black cultures of Eastern Europe, or the original black civilization of China, the Xian Shang peoples. And they have a lot of pictures of them also. But we're gonna go back up to the true Negro, the beginning of the term true Negro. Okay. And I think it's actually down here. So let's get back down here. Oh, interesting also. Black Britain, the history of the Black Holy Roman Empire, that was in Germany. Every part of Europe was made up of diverse blacks from the beginning. So you can get into it and read some true history. All right, so we're back on the true Negro. So let me click here. Okay. And we already went through the reason and history for the term true Negro and pictures of modern Egyptians. You can check those out. Excuse me, I don't need that. You can check those out. And True Negro Part 1, 2, and 3. But right now we're going to be debunking the white man's ethnic science, pictures of modern Ethiopians and Nigerians. Okay, so we click on that. All right. Ancient Man and His First Civilizations, the True Negro, Part 3. Real Africans. And he says the white man's science. Now, I've never met a white person, to be honest. They're either pink skin or red skin. Now, there are a few people with white skin, creamy white skin like milk, and pale white skin. These are all different genetic mutations, but that's a story for another day. Okay, the white man's science. We saw on page 1 how the white man used the lies of his bogus science to denigrate blacks. Now let's look at how he tries to use the lies of his bogus science to elevate himself. In trying to figure out where they came from and why they look so different from other humans, whites developed their own field of scientific anthropology. But there was an immediate problem. Everything that they found in the way of artifacts and skeletons related to black people only, including those in Europe. Okay? To be clear, no ancient skeletons of Caucasians have ever been found anywhere other than in Asia. That's where they originated, peoples. Though some in the Americas should be Caucasian owing to their proximity to the Bering Straits. Okay? Finding out that they did not originate in Europe must have been a great shock indeed. But ever ready with a lie, the white man latched onto a truth that is the liar's best friend. The best lie is the lie with a little truth in it. So they said, let's take all of the things that are characteristic of us and make them exclusively ours, and then make everyone else different. Thus, the white man was long-headed, had a high bridge nose, pale skin, blue-eyed, blonde or red hair, and thin lip. By now, most people understand that the attributes in parentheses are symptomatic of a disorder. Blonde hair, red hair, blue eyes, green eyes, hazel eyes, gray eyes, pink skin, red skin, white, creamy white, pale white skin. all recessive mutations, from black hair, brown eyes, black skin. Okay. So let me reiterate. By now, most people understand that the attributes in parentheses are symptomatic of a disorder. Then he invented a new science to promote his life. And so what science did he create? Craniofacial anthropometry. Anthropometry. Okay, that's how you say it, perhaps. Okay, the historical development of craniofacial anthropometry or pometry started when anthropologists first measured human skulls as a way to categorize race. The beginning physical anthropologists used a holistic method where they examined multiple observable physical characteristics to determine race. This holistic approach was not craniofacial anthropometry, but a typological method. As anthropologists gain access to methods of skull measure, they develop racial classification based on skull shape. The observable craniofacial skeletal differences range from breadth of nasal aperture, nasal roof, height, head shape, example mesocephalic, brachycephalic, and dolichocephalic, sagittal crest appearance, jaw thickness, brow ridge size, forehead slope, etc., but did not involve soft tissue differences such as nasal shape, eye color, skin color, lip shape, and hair type. Using a strict skull-based categorization method, these anthropologists organized 3 to 4 racial groups. Caucasoids were characterized by a dolichocephalic shape, having a head much longer than it is broad, with receded zygomas, large brow ridge, and a narrow nasal aperture. Secondly, negroids were characterized by a mesocephalic head shape having a medium length and width, with receded zygomas and wide nasal aperture. Third, mongoloids were characterized as a brachycephalic head shape, having a short, broad head, absent brow ridges, small nasal aperture, and projecting zygomas. Additionally, australoids, whose craniofacial type fell between negroids and caucasoids, was added. With the addition of this category, Thomas Huxley considered India to fall in this group's craniofacial measurements. Of course, as with his depictions of the ancient as white people, this white man's lie depended on the world's people not having seen each other or knowing much about each other, because there was just one little problem with that grand conspiracy. Using just common sense, the black man, as the known progenitor of all other humans in the world, must have all of the characteristics of those begotten by him. Bingo! That's just my little add-on. Otherwise, how could he make them? On page 1, we saw white-skinned black people and blonde-haired black people. Now let's look at the head types. Now, I disagree with that point. You can't be white-skinned and be a black person, because white is not a look. White is a color, and you cannot look a color. So I kind of disagree with that, but, whatever. I digress. Okay, now let's move it on. Okay, now let's look at the head types. These pictures were chosen from the many pictures of Africans on the pages that follow, without particular care. So please feel free to choose your own examples of the white man's lies. Okay, so these are the 3 head shapes. Remember, they had caucasoid, negroid, mongoloid, and australoid, right? Now look at black peoples with all 3 head shapes. Long head, dolichocephalic. Medium head, mesocephalic. Round head, brachycephalic. Right? So black peoples come with a range of traits. Okay? Needless to say, as the 20th century moved on and advancements in transportation, excuse me, and media allowed the world's people to see each other and to meet each other, it became clear that this lie could not survive. Therefore, it has, for the most part, been abandoned, except, of course, for the most rabid, ignorant racists. They continue to cling to the lie, pathetic creatures that they are. The San, genetically the world's oldest people, Southern Africa. Well, actually, the San are not. That we have to update this. Someone they call African American actually has the oldest paternal Y chromosome, and his goes back to perhaps over 300,000 years. Okay, and so they're not. Anyways, but that's a story for another day. Okay, so Southern Africa and the obvious source of the genes for today's Mongol people, called Hottentots by whites. In the Khoisan language, consonants are pronounced with a clicking sound. This prompted their Dutch invaders to call them Hottentots, a derogatory word meaning stutterer or stammerer in the language of the Dutch invaders. Later, the Dutch, together with the British and German settlers, would eventually try to exterminate them with the Herero Namaka genocides, and you guys need to check that out. Okay, this was a combination of British, German settlers, and Dutch. Okay, and they tried to exterminate them, and that is called the Herero and Namaka genocides. Okay, and this is just showing you some of the variations. Okay, now obviously these people, you can see they come with many variations of phenotypes. You know, skin complexion. Obviously, some admixtures way back in antiquity. All right. Look at some of the variations of these peoples. Okay. Many variations. Black peoples are diverse, man. Okay. Okay, and here's, they show you a sound female. Let me pull this up, if I can. It's called statophagia, enlargement of the butt. Okay. And you find these all over Europe, these little statues with these type of figures of women. All right. Anyways, the complete Khoisan and Bantu genomes from Southern Africa have just been completed and published 11 August 2009, accepted 6 January 2010. And you can click right here for the study. Perhaps I can come back and go over that in part 2. Okay? And it says the presumed ancestry of the Mongols, genetic data. Let me try to enlarge this. The presumed ancestry of the Mongols, modern Mongols. Genetic data shows that the biochemical systems of Asians and European populations appear to be more similar to each other. Yep, because they all originated in Asia and they mixed before they went to their separate ways. Okay? That they are to African populations. Okay? Thus, Asians, Mongols, and Europeans, Caucasians, may have shared a common ancestry with each other some 40,000 years ago, and a common ancestry with African population before that. The out of Africa migration, which took Africans into Asia, occurred at about 50,000 BC. The modern Mongols show great affiliation with San Africans in body type and facial features, thus the presumed genesis below. Okay, so I have to disagree with this. This happens because, for example, right, if you understand basic genetics, you can look at this Chinese woman and see that her skin scientifically is a genetic mutation, but it's not deleterious. So yes, she's a hybrid. She has the recessive hair type, straight, but her hair is a brunette. So it basically simply means at one point or another, recessive hair type, red recessive hair type, and black recessive hair type, being straight hair, mixed. Okay, and so the black hair was dominant. So it conferred its dominance on the recessive red hair. Okay, excuse me, don't need that. So you make a darker variation of red hair called brunette. And likewise for blonde hair, same concept, darker variation of blonde hair called ashy blonde. Okay, so they were mixing because the people who considered themselves white, they reached Europe about 4,500 years ago. So they were mixing with all types of the black-skinned peoples, non-black-skinned peoples that were around in Asia. Okay, like I said, the people who call themselves Europeans today came from what is now the Indus Valley, or what was the Indus Valley, which is now India, Pakistan, Bangladesh. They came from what is now Iran, ancient Persia. They came from Northeast Africa, which is now Middle East, and they also originated in Turkey, because if you research it, all the European languages originated around Turkey. But yeah, so I disagree with this part a little bit, because it's a new research that came out that says the people they call African Americans, which are majority of the native peoples here, because black Africans populated the whole world before they existed. So his Y chromosome over 300,000 years old, and black peoples were in Americas over 100,000 years ago, if not earlier. Okay. Anyways, I digress. So this is a possibility. Yes, a black-skinned person mixed with a non-black-skinned person, but that's not the combination. We actually have pictures where we see the original black cultures of China, black-skinned peoples with the recessive hair type straight, and then you see the invaders who came in their admixed state, brunettes, darker ashy blondes, brown eyes now, and skin type that's a genetic mutation like this woman. Her skin is a genetic mutation, but it's not deleterious. Typically a light high yellow or light brown, okay, with a darker version of red hair. But anyways, that's a story for another day. So let's move on. East Africa, or excuse me, East Africa, Ethiopia. Now let's look at all the variations of these black peoples. Okay, so remember the term true Negro came up. They classified black peoples as a certain look, but the science is there. That's why they had to dump this monkey science, because they were like, these people are diverse. Yes, and being the original human beings, you must be, and you're the progenitors, so you should have all the variations of human traits or characteristics. So let's look at some of these black peoples. Ethiopia, East Africa. Look at all the variations. Every hair type, every skull shape, every shape of the nose, the lips, the eyes, woolly hair, straight hair, curly hair. Look over here. This is Ethiopia. Look at all the variations of black peoples. All these variations. According to them, this would be the true Negro right here. Let me make it bigger. This one would be the true Negro right here. Let me make her bigger. This one right over here. Right here. All the way to your left. That would be the true Negro. But look at black people. They're so diverse. Okay, let's make it smaller. Come on, get smaller. Cooperation is key here. All right, anyways. So you see all the variations of black peoples. Okay, guys. So it's very important for you to get factual information. All right, and let's go to Niger, which is in West Africa. Look at the diversity of black peoples. It's ridiculous how diverse they are, man. Look at that. So many variations of black peoples. So these people, look, straight hair, woolly hair, curly hair, all the variations of a nose humanly possible. Look at that. Okay? So guys, the term true Negro was created. People wanted to categorize people. And that was before human beings were moving around and checking each other out. Okay, let me pick this phone up. But now that we can see that black peoples are scientifically the most genetically diverse, we know that there's no such thing as a true Negro. Okay? And so with that, guys, thank you for listening to my rant. I appreciate it. Next time when we pick up, we'll start off at the next section. All right? The origin of the so-called true Negro. Okay, guys, so thanks again. Once again, the website is realhistory.www.com or www.realhistory.www.com. And I'm Daily Read on YouTube. Just started making videos. I've been on YouTube for a while, but I just started making videos. So anyways, thanks for listening. Have a nice day. Bye. And don't forget, reading is good.